Welcome into the In the Money podcast for KeenelandSelect.com for December 22nd. I'm Tom Leach along with Jim Goodman, Keeneland's Director of Wagering Development. We're going to the fairgrounds this week for a stakes-laden card. 5 stakes races. 4 of them make up an all-stakes pick 4 that starts in the 7th that we'll talk about. And that starts with 2-year-old fillies going 6 furlongs in the Letellier Memorial. And, Jim, where did you land?
Get the Cajun accent down.
That's right.
Letellier. Yeah. Fairgrounds has a great card this weekend. It's the best card by far. And you got 4 stakes races with some really nice horses. This one kicks it off. I went with Bell's the One. I always look at Keeneland horses going elsewhere, and this one won at Keeneland back in October. Won by 3, won really easily under Giroux, and he comes back to ride her for Neil Passon. Neil doesn't get that many good horses, but this one looks pretty good. 2 for 2 in her career, and I think she has the right running style. This race has a lot of speed, as 2-year-old races normally do, with Smileless into Snow and Idle Hour, Adventurous Lady. Lady TNT has a lot of speed, and Unholy Alliance, and all those horses I'll use in the Big 4. The Lady TNT in particular worries me on the win level because she was good enough to run the Alcibiades at Keeneland back in October, and she just got bumped at the start and never got into the race, and they didn't persevere with her. So she fits the pattern of a horse that's really good. She won at Saratoga. She won at Churchill. She comes into the Alcibiades, gets a lot of wagering interest in a grade 1 at 10-1, and then just doesn't run a step. And I think that you just toss that race, go back on her form back in the early fall, and I think she fits very well. Brad Cox's Unholy Alliance, I didn't pick her on top because of the post position, but she ran a big race at Churchill in the slop back in November. So all these horses coming into this race are exiting off very impressive performances, except for Lady TNT. So it's a wide open race, but I went with Bell's the One, all for Keeneland form. So we'll see what happens with that.
I like Lady TNT a lot in here for the reasons that you mentioned. I think she's going to be better at sprinting. I think they just took a shot in a grade 1 around 2 turns, and I think my guess is going to be they found out she's a better sprinter. She's really working well there at the fairgrounds, too, for Joe Sharp. And I actually toyed with singling her. I like her a lot in here, but I didn't, and I included ones that you mentioned. Bell's the One. I thought that was a really impressive race at Keeneland. Unholy Alliance, Adventurous Lady for Asmussen, and then if you want to go one more, I would say Idle Hour is worth a look because the Walsh horses aren't always at their best first out, and this one won first time out, and he usually is a little better second start. So off that angle, I thought that one was a little intriguing, but ended up leaving it out just to make the ticket more affordable when we get to the pick 4. The 8th race is the Blushing KD. Fillies and mares on the turf at about a mile on the 16th. I went to Take These Chains for Brad Cox. I thought that horse was really impressive. I tried to beat her in that comeback race at Churchill. She had come from the Chad Brown barn, hadn't been out in a long time, and she really ran well, won for fun off that long layoff, and I think if she runs back to that, she's going to be awfully tough. But just because it's, she's been off for so long, maybe she bounces off that. I didn't want to single her. So I thought Beau Recall I wanted to use. And then if I didn't single her, I'm going to go deep. So like I'm Betty G for Maker, scratched out of a race with a bad post last week. Prado's Sweet Ride was really impressive last time, run well at the fairgrounds. So got to include that one on the ticket. Superiority Complex I'll add as well. So I'm actually going to go 5 deep when we get to the pick 4. But Take These Chains as the win pick in the Blushing KD. How about you?
I had 2 opinions here. I thought that Take These Chains was an impressive winner at Churchill, and going from Chad Brown's barn to Brad Cox's barn, that's 2 of the hottest barns in the country in 2018. So I doubt if she misses a step going to that barn, and I think Laurent Giroux could have a really big day at Fairgrounds on Saturday. So I went with her, but the other one that I really like, and if this morning line at 6-1 is correct, I think Prado's Sweet Ride is probably the value in the race. Ran in this race last year and only got beat by 1 1/4. Has come back and been very consistent this year. except for the Kentucky Downs race when she inexplicably didn't run at all and got banned off. She came back and has won since then in the Falls City Grade 2, which is a much better race than this one, at a mile and an eighth, and she set the pace that day. So I think Prado Sweet Ride is 6-1 if that morning line holds up as a good win bet. But I love Take These Chains, and that's going to be my exacta box in this race. The third horse I'm going to leave in the Big Four is Superiority Complex for Michael Stidham. This had a perfect prep race here for this race on November 22nd, won wire to wire, and has a chance to do so again. But I'm only going 3 deep in the Pick 4 in this one. But Take These Chains and Prado Sweet Ride is my exacta of the day.
Tenacious is the 9th race in the third leg of this Pick 4 at a mile and 70 yards for 3-year-olds and up. You've got Tom's de Tot is a pretty heavy favorite in here. Where did you go?
And that's my single. I thought, I'm like you. I looked at the first couple of races and then the next one we're going to do, and I didn't think that there was a lot of spread room. I didn't think there was a lot of room for a single in those two, so I've got a single somewhere. Thomas de Tot worries me a little bit because of that long layoff, and you talked about the bounce possibility, but he was so impressive in that race off a 15-month layoff, and came back and won at Churchill. Go back to his Saratoga form in 2017, and he was beating some pretty good horses and got a 106 buyer. So I think he is going to be the big favorite here, but I really couldn't find an alternative to him. I think Thirst for Life has a shot if he runs back to his form back in the summer at Churchill, because he was really tough. But he didn't do well when they shipped him out to Parks, and just wonder if he might be a little bit, might need another race. Otherwise, I didn't. Snapper Sinclair's got a good resume, but he hasn't been running that well lately. Fat Man. I couldn't find an alternative here, so I think Tom's de Tot is probably my single of the day.
I ended up trying Snapper Sinclair, trying to get maybe a little bit of a price and beat the favorite. Third start off the layoff, has run well here before, and I like the work pattern. Just kind of throw out that comeback race, and then the last race was much improved. Could really, I thought about just standing with those two, but then I ended up including 2 others. Colonel's Dark Temper, that's a 10-1 price on the morning line, and that could certainly juice up a Pick 4. And it's the second start for a new barn, and ran improved in the first start. So off that angle, I'm going to add that one, and then I'm going to throw a Pioneer Spirit in as well. Just hoping I could beat Tom's de Tot and juice up the Pick 4, but he does look off that last race awfully strong. The 10th race is the Buddy Diliberto Memorial on the turf at about a mile and a 16th for 3-year-olds and up, and I went to Big Changes in here. This horse is in top form. Gets Giroux back in the saddle after Le Peru rode last time, and the horse just narrowly lost to Mr. Misunderstood, who's a really nice horse. And Great Wide Opens maybe got a little bit of a class edge on Big Changes, but I think Big Changes can beat him in this spot, tracking just off the pace. And I think those two look pretty strong. I'm going to I would think Oscar Nominated might be the next one that might have a shot, but I'm just going to stand with Big Changes and Great Wide Open when we get to the Pick 4. How about you?
Well, with my single in the last race, I'm going to go deep here. Got a little money left. And Big Changes is the most likely winner, I think, running behind Mr. Misunderstood in the River City last time at Churchill on a yielding turf course. You might get that. I don't know if they're going to get the rain at Fairgrounds or we're going to get this weekend, but you might take a look at that and see which horses run on the soft turf. They're going to try to keep them on, I'm sure, this weekend for this big card. But this is the one where I thought that you could get a real price in here. There's a horse named Teodoro for Tom Morley that's 15-1 on the morning line. And if you just look at the One American race, you'd say, well, he didn't run that well. Well, he caught a soft turf at a mile and a half, which might be a little bit beyond his best distance, and grade 1 at Belmont. So Tom Morley gets him here off the boat and runs him in a grade 1 and gets beat by Channel Maker, Robert Bruce, and Sadler's Joy. Not too bad company. There's nothing like that in this race. This is a $75,000 stakes race. I think they're looking at this as a stepping stone. Horses running in some big stakes races in England had a 1:17 time for him in one race. So I think I don't think he's going to go off at 15-1, but I think he's a really good alternative to Big Changes. And then I'm going to also use the other horses, Oscar nominated to 7, Memory Bank to 6, and the 2-horse Great Wide Open. So the other logical horses. Well, I think Teodoro has a big shot here, and I think you'd be making a mistake if you overlook this horse coming from overseas. So that would be a 2, 3, 5, 6, 7.
Let's go to the All Stakes Pick 4. What's your ticket look like?
Okay, I only spent $37.50, taking 5 in the first leg with the 2, 3, 5, 9, 10 with Bell's the one, my top pick. In the second leg, the Blushing KD, I went 3 deep with the 1, 7, 9 Prado Sweet Ride, Take These Chains, and Superiority Complex. Single Tom Stays Hot in the third leg, the 7-horse. And then you got enough money to go deep in the last leg. And I went 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Big Changes is the pick, but I'm giving a big chance to Teodoro in there. So that's 2, 3, 5, 9, 10 with 1, 7, 9 with 7 with 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, and it's $37.50.
I am not going any lower than 3 in any race, so it's going to make it a little bit of a pricey ticket. 4 horses in the first leg, 2, 5, 9, 10. But I like Lady TNT a lot in there. 1, 2, 6, 7, 9 in the next leg. And then I just made a change. You talked me into adding Teodoro. So I'm going to add that horse in the last leg. So I'm going to take out Pioneer Spirit of the third leg, make it just 2, 5, and 7. And then I'm going to go 2, 3, 5 in the last leg. So that's 4 by 5, by 3, by 3, which is, 180 for $1. So that makes a 50-cent ticket $90. So that's certainly a little pricier than I normally go, but you could take a stand. One thing when I'm in this situation that I'll do sometimes is if the ticket's getting too pricey, I'll just try to take a stand somewhere, and I usually like to do it in the first leg, and then I know I'm done or not in the first leg. So you could do that with Lady TNT, and then reduce the ticket significantly and have a lot of chances in the remaining 3 races. So I'll throw that out there as a suggestion, but I'm going to take a little bit heftier ticket and play it that way. So 4 by 5 by 3 by 3 for me in the All Stakes Pick 4. Now, there is one other stakes race, and this was our Keeneland Select video pick of the week, the Sugar Bowl for 2-year-olds, and I took Manny Wah. Has a little bit of an experience edge on the 2 horses that have better speed numbers. Super Steed was incredibly impressive, breaking his maiden in an allowance race last time at Churchill, beating the horse that beat him in the maiden race at Keeneland in one of the maybe the best maiden race of the meet. So that one's awfully impressive. Hog Creek Hustle was incredibly impressive, big speed figure jump for him. But Manny Wah's got 6 starts, 3 of them in stakes, adding blinkers, 31% angle for Catalano. So I took Manny Wah, and then you could do a 3-horse box with those other 2 that I mentioned. Best of luck on your Saturday wagers. Jim, folks need to remember, too, there's a big day at Santa Anita day after Christmas.
Yeah, Santa Anita does a kickoff day out there that a lot of people celebrate Christmas coming to the Detroit racetrack. And with 2 Grade 1s, I think 5 total stakes races. It's December 26th, day after Christmas. So you'll have a little Christmas money to put in your Keeneland Select account. I think the La Brea and the Malibu are the Grade 1 stakes. And it'd be a good day to recover from your Christmas cheer and make a little money for the new year. That's kind of the kickoff of the 2019 season. So Santa Anita's a big opening day out there, and you'll be able to sit and wherever you are and have a hot cup of cocoa and recover from Christmas and watch the sunny skies in Southern California. But probably a very nice day of racing on the 26th.
Well, there'd be nothing better than to just have a big win on that card and get even for Christmas, wouldn't
it? Yeah, that's a good goal. I like that.
Hopefully, Santa will arrive one day late with a few winners for everybody at Santa Anita.
That would be very nice.
We wish everybody a very Merry Christmas. We'll be back next week with another edition of the In the Money podcast for KeenelandSelect.com.